Welcome back to another 2Down Gaming Tech Help video. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One users, if you're getting strict or moderate NAT types, Xbox One, we have another video. Please watch that one first. It's helped a lot of people. It really has. For those it has not helped, I'm attempting to do it this way. Hopefully this will be able to help out more people to resolve their NAT issues. If not, at this point all I can really say is if you've watched the other video and then you watch this one and your NAT is still strict or moderate, you're going to have to reset your console back to factory defaults. For some reason with Xbox One it has a serious issue with this, and usually resetting it back to factory defaults will clear up every freaking issue for some reason. Why? I'm not even sure, but that's how it works for some reason. Anyway, more onto the topic. Our other videos showed previously how to open up your Xbox One to get the Teredo IP address error resolved or the strict or moderate NAT type to go to open. If that one solved it for you, great, awesome. Go ahead and go watch it first before you watch this one. Then come back here and watch this one if that one does not resolve that for you. In this one, we're going to look at reserving an IP address for your console. That way, every time you turn on your Xbox One or your PlayStation 4, it has the same IP address on your network every time. Then we're going to look at opening up all the ports needed for each console. That way, every time you turn your console on, it's got the same IP address and all the ports needed to play online are always open. Please be warned, however, that keeping these ports open at all times increases the risk of people getting into your network, you being hacked, all that lovely stuff that people just dread. Please only use this as a last resort if the other video does not clear up your issue. So, on to the topic. First of all, we're going to set a reservation for your console. Now, I'm going to jump right into it here because not every router is identical. I will tell you kind of where to look and where to find this at in your network. First of all, you're going to go to your computer and log into your router. For most Linksys routers, the IP address is 192.168.1.1. Once you're logged in, you will look for your local network settings and you will see a DHCP reservation. We're going to go there. You'll see all your device listings. Yes, I have a load of them already on here. But like right here, we have Xbox System OS. That is your Xbox One. And then PS4 15C917 is my PS4. Now, if we were going to add it to where it has the same IP address every time, you want to go over, check your box, and add DHCP reservation. That's going to put it as a reserved address. That way, now see, if I did this, my PS4 would always be .1.147 on my network. Nothing else on my network would ever be able to use that exact IP address. That will lock that PS4 to that address on my network at all times. And if we want to do the Xbox One as well, we can go ahead and add it in. That way it will always be .1.131. It does not matter if you're running wired, you can run wireless, whichever way you prefer. Wired is always better. It adds a more stable connection, less dropout rates. If you have to run wireless, go for it. Not a huge deal. Anyway, this is going to lock it down. You would do this and then go ahead and click OK to lock in those IP addresses for those consoles. Now, if you're running, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii U, whatever the case may be, you can set it for those as well. This is going to help on any console that you have. I'm going to click cancel because I don't actually need this. You would click OK or apply, whatever your router requires you to click on to actually set those IP addresses. Second, we're going to look for, geez, now I'm completely lost here. See, now this is the other way you could do it, is through static routing. If you don't have the DHCP reservation, which I'm not sure why you wouldn't. Almost every router should have a DHCP reservation list. But you can also do it through static routing. That is a more complicated way to do it. You don't really want to do it that way. You can just DHCP lock it down. That is the best way to do it. Let's see, I believe mine's under security. Yeah, port range forwarding. You're going to want to find your port range forwarding area. Single port forwarding is if you only have one port to forward at a time. This is not going to be the case, especially with the PS4. It has a very, very large range. The Xbox One is more confined on its ports. It doesn't have as wide of a range. Like the PS4 on one of them is actually going to be like port 50,000 all the way to port 60,000 for the UDP ports. So, you know, that's a really huge range right there. The Xbox One, on the other hand, every port is going to be separate. You're not going to have any ranges whatsoever for the Xbox One. For now, though, we are going to stick to port range forwarding. You're going to want to add a new one. For application name, you just type in like Xbox One and then end it with the port that you're going to be opening, because you're going to do this multiple times, so you can't name each and every one of them just Xbox One, Xbox One, Xbox One. They can't all have the same name. So for the first one, we'd do Xbox One 88, set that to port 88 and end on port 88, and 88 is actually our UDP port. Here you would set the IP address of your console, which is what we just covered. You locked it down using that DHCP. So write that down, use it here. After you set that one, you're going to move on to the next one. I'm going to go ahead and pull over a list for everybody to look at. Pause the video, get all the ports that you're going to need, and then unpause and resume the video. So here is the list for every port you're going to need. Xbox One requires port 88, UDP, 3074 on UDP and TCP, 53 for both as well, port 80 for TCP, 500 UDP, 3544 for UDP, and 4500 UDP. PlayStation 4, on the other hand, is 10,050 for TCP, 10,051 for TCP, 10,040 to 10,060 for TCP. So that would be the one where you would actually set the full range. You would start it at 10,040 and end it at 10,060, as well as the UDP going from 50,000 to 60,000. And I will show you that here real quick. Hopefully, everybody actually listened there and got their video paused, copied all these down. I probably will go ahead and throw them in the description of the video as well. That way they're easier to copy and you don't have to sit there and type every one of them out. But we're going to go back over to our actual screen here. Now, if we were going to set those up for PS4, I'm going to name this one PS4 50K to 60K. Then we'll set it for 50,000. There we go. You might get that error when you're doing it too. You'll just have to ignore the error and move on. And then you will go in here and set the IP address that you reserved for your PlayStation 4. Go ahead and click apply, OK, save, whatever your router requires you to do. And I do apologize, I've been sick these past few days, so I don't sound the greatest. And again, in your DHCP reservation list, you can always go back in there if you need to and check what your console, IP address would be set to. Like my 360 would be .1.141. After you've applied all the settings for a DHCP reservation list and opened up all your ports for Xbox One or PS4, the ports that are required, apply the settings on your router. Then you can go ahead and close out, go over, turn your console on, and you should be good from there. With all your ports open and a DHCP reservation set, your console should have an open NAT type at all times. Please remember though, like I said previously in this video, this is a more risky route to do this because it opens those ports up at all times on your router. People out there know what they're doing. They look for this kind of stuff. Hackers will look around and see, you know, well, hey, here's a network that I can hack into. Let's see if they have any of the Xbox or PlayStation networks, you know, ports open. That way I can use those ports to just tunnel right on into their system. They will use this. So you want to try to keep your system locked down as much as possible if you can. So, you know, this is risky. Try to use the other video first, please. If that one does not help, resort to this one. This is only a last-ditch effort in an attempt to get your console to open up and actually give you an open NAT type so you have better online gameplay. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Hope this or the other videos we've made really help you out in, you know, all your tech endeavors, getting your console to open up ports, getting that NAT type fixed for you, whatever the case may be. We appreciate you watching and hope to see you again.